And just because I watch a video or parts of a video doesn't mean I'm a stalker.
Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Dropping bombs on your nipples. Might drop in alarms, not press snooze. Mainstream spinning, but I won't play that game. A nuclear flow turning at you for motivational flame. Megan Fox crushing all the talking heads as they spoon feed their paid piggies. Gotta keep them misled with blazing Lego vision. I see all the signs exposed in the agenda. Miss these epic rhymes. Intellectual assault on the mainstream. Not in the current of the mainstream. Medium smart will never be silenced. They won't extend, fighting up lions. Pretend intellectual assault on the mainstream. Never ride in the current of the lame stream. Bro, I can burn water, but I'm spitting facts. Top shelf, sorting mad stacks. Reporting news, and not like you make it. I'm award-winning, and I don't have to fake it. Megan Fox, an authentic voice, giving the masses a hard-hitting choice. That umbrella guy, hammering his song, while Megan Fox rights those wrongs. Now we hit the end of this tune, declaring what it isn't even new. Making dinner and still chopping rhymes like granite. In my area code, please, you're not even on my plan. Yeah, you're outclassed and you never knew. By the time I press singulars are through, breaking stories while you're chasing hunches. I'm a news titan, never pulling punches.
Welcome everyone to the stream tonight. It's me, Megan Fox, your favorite medium high smart journalist. I have not gotten a thank you card from Judge Bolitho for catching his mistake and saving him from an appeal. I did not get a thank you card yet. I will keep you informed, though. If I do get a thank you card, you'll be the first ones to know. I'll frame it, put it on the studio wall. I don't know. Do you think I'm going to get one, Tug?
I'm still holding out for it.
I'm holding out for it, too. Maybe I'll get invited to the next, judicial ball or something.
Judicial ball. You'd be like Cinderella, except you drop your law book. You're like, no.
Except, yeah, or it's a bunch of guys in druid robes standing around in a circle.
No, this sounds like another kind of, not Cinderella. That sounds like, what is that place where Hollywood supposedly all goes, and
yeah, the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. It sounds like, they're like, here, put on this robe. They're like, oh, am I a judge now? They're like, yeah, not quite. You're like, oh shit, no.
That's more, where they they burn a body in effigy, and it's more. That's probably more what judges do when they get together. I don't know. Judges have to have balls first, says the chat. Don't get me started on ball talk. Rosalind and Rogue Mama will get involved. It will go on all night. Just don't start with the ball talk, chat. It just will not stop after that. It just won't.
Phrasing.
That's what she said.
We found some amazing stuff today, by the way. Amazing stuff today.
We have. And before we get to what you found, I think I should explain the thumbnail, because the thumbnail basically says that, remember that LOLYER with the big lips who sued us? Well, did she quit? It looks like something happened. Something happened on the docket. What was it? Let's see, shall we? Let me look.
Maybe my new lawyer, J-Hip, scared her off.
That's always possible. Now, I did hear J-Hip reading his new filing, the first filing in your case, since he's taken over, and I was rather impressed.
Yes, it was like, if we're not going to blame Jeremy, let's blame Trojan. I was like, that's good, Yep.
I was rather impressed. I like the part where he said, this is the part that has a lot of teeth. So the judge knows this is the real serious part. And he said, this should be dismissed because it's stupid. That was my favorite part. I think I like his writing style. I may consent to hiring him to be my attorney in this.
I'm telling you, pro se, no, pair se. That's how you got to go. You got to get a pair se lawyer.
And everything will be fine. You just need a pair se lawyer. Yep.
You'll be
all right. So we've got this on the docket. So let me try and pull in on this. Oh, that's what she said. Okay, here we go. Document says, so we have the docket of events here. Let's go down to the bottom because it's from earliest to latest. So there was the notice of appearance of counsel. Remember, Jeremy decided to enter the case. He waived service and they're in. Then directly after that, we had the next day a note here that says service document unable to be issued. Summons not paid correctly, only $4 for 2 summons. And waiting on order for the motion to amend filed on 6/16. Okay, so she didn't pay something properly. Then on 6/18, it says to add supplemental pleadings, and she tried to add some stuff. 6/18, we have another note, service document unable to be issued. No order on motion to amend complaint filed on 6/16 cannot issue proposed summons on second amended complaint because the judge didn't agree to let her amend the complaint, right? That was on 6/18. Then she added a bunch of other stuff. Notice, I don't know. Then on the 19th, there was comments of defendants Jeremy, Hales, and Martha publishing private information. So that was her. She put out another document. But then today I get this notice, right? Mm-hmm. And this notice says this. Let me pull this up. Okay. Here we go. Michael Doritos. Here we go. In the matter. Status. Abandoned filing queue. Please be advised that the filing reference 225-289-245 was not corrected and has been moved to abandoned filing queue in accordance with the Florida Supreme Court technology standards adopted in February of 2021. The action has been taken for the following reason. It was filed for judicial review. And if you have any questions, contact the Orange County Clerk of the Circuit Civil Division. So it's one of two things, because I can't really figure it out because the docket is not quite clear. Like this says that her amended complaint was pulled. The docket says she didn't pay her summons properly and she needs an order on the amended complaint anyway, and there isn't one. And so whatever. But whatever the court asked her to do, she didn't do. So it is now, her amended complaint is now abandoned.
That means that everyone that was filed in, whoopsie. Well, she also, she had that problem with colored pictures anyway. She filed the colored pictures. She was supposed to revise that. She didn't. Now, she just kept adding filings with colored pictures. Now, if one of them is a problem, they're all a problem. So, that's not even going to matter today, Megan, though. No,
it's not. And why is that, Tug? Do you want to explain?
Today, somebody wrote today and got me on a tangent where I've been looking up different items. I've been looking up vexatious litigant rules. What is we throw that around a lot, but what does that mean exactly? Like, what is the criteria? Now, the old criteria, she would have, interesting. Let's pull up her cases first, okay?
All right.
Let me pull these up. Now, give me 1 minute. All right. So these are the cases in the last few years here. Now, you'll notice there's quite a few.
Whoa, that's a lot of cases. What's the earliest year you got here?
We are going back to 2021, but this window actually extends. So the window's bigger than I thought. All of these fall in what I need there. All right.
Ah.
Voluntarily dismissed, court dismissed. All of this falls in. See, apparently to define a vexatious litigant, it's a person, of course, or a party that continues to bring frivolous lawsuits. Right now, under Florida law, this includes, here's was my issue. I was curious about, again, what does it include? How many cases do you have to have, and what the years are. So let me pull up the rules on that. Okay. Because this gets really interesting. And again, props to, there were actually 3 parties that have sent over things and helped put this puzzle together. Plus, making sure that I understood it correctly as well. God, there's a lot of... It's been a fascinating day, though. Look at you knocking my picture off there.
I hate it at the same time. I told you it was going to be a difficult button day. I'm sitting on my breadstick throne, though. So, I feel good vibes coming from my breadstick throne, even though it may be a difficult button day. I'm sitting on a throne of breadsticks. I feel the breadsticks just coming my way today. I'm putting out the breadstick vibes. And it makes the haters, roll around on the ground, writhing and screaming. So if you love this show, send breadsticks. Help me build the breadstick throne that I'm sitting on here, currently sitting on the breadstick throne, and hitting all the wrong buttons.
You have to have plenty of breadsticks to soften it out. It's got to have firm
extra
support.
Yeasty.
Yes. Yeah. You have to also have you need to know firm, it's soft. You need to be able to try them out. So you need multiple breadsticks.
That's true. You need to be able to try them out to see which ones are just right. Some might be too hard, some too soft. You got to get right in the middle there. And don't forget super tips, folks, because AI voices are a lot of fun. And in fact, we do have a couple of them. Let's play a couple so you know what I'm talking about. Supertip.gg/Megan Fox. Thank you, Lisa Carper, for the 5.
I am still waiting on my check from Jeremy Hales.
True.
And he's late on our talking points for tomorrow. How am I supposed to know what to say?
And Buck Naked, thanks to the 5.
This judge knows the law. I don't know whether to poop or go blind. Bruce.
And then Robo770.
Judge Bolitho, don't do what I did. Follow the law and sort these mother sucker freaks out and get BBB arrested and dragged in chains to your courtroom for sanctions that if not paid the same day.
Well, Bruce, don't say I didn't tell you, you dumb piece of shit.
Megan, stop playing nice and unleash your law force and sort this case out now. Down with weak judges.
I have been publicly exposed. No, John, I am not on my pole.
Now, Megan, drive in the final bails in the coffin to this weirdos and get more case law rules to shaft them up and shut them up for good.
Shaft them up and shut them up for good.
That's funny.
That was funny. And just to remind you, Super Tips is for parody and comedy purposes only. That is clearly computer-generated voices. And you can make them say whatever you want. That's fun. Okay.
All right. So the measure, the way this is defined, first of all, I want you to listen to this here. Okay. So it's got 2 parts. All right. It says that it defines conduct as vexatious if it relitigates or attempts to relitigate the validity of a determination, cause of action, claim, controversy, or any issue of fact or law against same party after a case has been finally and adversely determined. Okay. Or, listen to this part, if the litigant repeatedly files pleadings, motions, or other documents that have been the subject of previous rulings by the court, or are frivolous or solely intended to cause unnecessary delay. So, with her barraging courts with actions and then not having them stay around, her dismissing her filings, having courts that dismiss them, that fits under this. Now, what does it mean? What kind of cases fit under that? One of the questions I kept having was, does family law, does that actually fit? Yes, indeed. It does indeed. So the family law cases that she's been pushing, those count. Small claims, they would count. And they make Any party to a civil action. So any party, you can have this put on. Okay. Now the qualifying actions, it used to be 5, and it used to be a 5-year window. Now the qualifying actions have been reduced from 5 to 3. So you have 3 cases, and you have a 7-year window to look at.
Wait, 3 different cases?
3 different items.
3
yeah,
filings.
She's done it.
In this, could Lynette qualify? She's filed the thumbnail in state court. Then she filed the same thing in federal court, and she filed the trespass case, which was dismissed.
I would believe, because not only that, the way, again, you should look it up. You should look at
the cyber stalking case was dropped.
Yeah, you've got the stalking, you got trespass 5, you have again. There's so many of these, and it doesn't necessarily have to look at the same person that it's aimed at. No, that's not how it works. Some of these people, the way that they've tried to define it is, I have to come after you. Party A comes after Party B. That makes it no. It can be about Party A alone. Party A is a vexatious litigant. They continue to do this, then they can get a vexatious litigant designation. Now, again, you can have 3 qualifying actions covered under a time frame of 7 years for that. So filing multiple meritless lawsuits, attempting to relitigate matters that have already been decided by court, submitting documents with harassing, scandalous, or sham materials to courts. Let's see. Those lawsuits that she's put out where she's tried to harass people, never served them, let them fall off. Again, she meets the fucking criteria of a vexatious litigant under Florida law. 100%. Wow. Yes.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised for them to file something asking the judge to designate her as a vexatious litigant.
I'm telling you. Yeah. If I have to go forward with something again, and
that's what I'll do. I mean, and look at it. Can you pull up her cases again? The little spreadsheet.
I'm working on it. Give me a minute.
I like the sound effects. That helped. Mark does his own sound effects. He doesn't need a soundboard. He is the soundboard.
I know, that was amazing, wasn't it?
That was really good.
You should send some breadsticks for the throne there just for that. It was amazing. That. I know. I'll be here all week.
All right, so we've got Leslie versus her husband that was voluntarily dismissed. Leslie versus Jeremy Hales, voluntary dismissal against me and you and Jay. We've got Leslie versus her husband again, dismissing injunction after hearing. Okay. And then another one, a voluntary dismissal.
Yeah, she went after. Remember, she went after the Seacoast National Bank where
then she dismissed that too.
Servers on it. Yeah, she ended up dismissing. The court dismissed those. So,
because she just let it set there for 120 days without serving.
But when you look at this again, she is aimed at, again, you can talk about what these are too. This person again has gone after her own family to muzzle and silence them. She has gone after people.
And that one was dismissed too. I don't see that one on here, but that one sat for 120 days without being served as well. So that was a dismissal too, a court dismissal.
Yeah, this was just a recent lookup, where people pulled. And look at that. That's, you're talking about 4 years. That's it. You get a 7-year window to look back.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then there's the one against her former secretary was dismissed, voluntary dismissal, and then a dismissing injunction after hearing. So yeah, she qualifies. Where do we sign her up for the vexatious litigant status?
Well, not just her. Who has she been filing this under? What lawyer has been present for all this stuff?
I think she's been filing pro se most of it. Most of it is pro se. Some of it is her husband.
Well, let's see. I wonder how many of those are actually under that name. I wonder if that,
well,
so maybe that would be a little
interesting. This is an interesting dilemma because in the vexatious litigant law, you have to, it only applies to pro se litigants. It doesn't apply if you have a lawyer. Isn't that stupid? I mean, it really should, because what if you have a vexatious lawyer?
Well, she's already included herself with her hodgepodge of filings. She filed this pro se, not pro se, pro se, not pro se. And when she did, remember when she filed and said, I'm pro se, she dismissed us off of it. She brought us back again, you know, and then her family court actions, they are also a problem. You know, you're in trouble too, is we have that recording. So she screwed up at one time on YouTube and she talked about filing actions and essentially just leaving them there, you know, that way.
Yeah, filing them so that it'll be on the record that she was defamed or whatever she's claiming.
Yeah. So she's filing cases with no intention of ever moving forward. That's what the cases were in the past. It doesn't matter what she intends now. She has already dropped enough freaking information out there to bury any case that she moves forward. They talk a big game, you know. They say they're going to do this, they're going to serve that. Well, fucking bring it, because this is a slam dunk win. Like there's a half dozen ways that you can get this thing dismissed.
It's absurd.
Well, the thing is, you bring in all these people too. You know, you could go after it with one person. Go after a vexatious litigant. Will that work? Should. You know, if it doesn't, you go after it with a jurisdiction is another issue. You know, right off the bat, because again, you know, with her claiming that all of this happened and blah, blah, blah. Well, what laws are we applying to that? You know, again, that would be an interesting one. She has no causes of action against quite a few people. That's another way of going after it. And of course, there's the infamous anti-slap, which would destroy this case.
That's true.
That's four right off the bat that she has problems with.
I think that, you know, what she intends to do and what she's going to do in this case is not even serve anybody.
No, she plans. It's 4 months of free press and threats is what it is. They're out there. They hope to threaten folks like Shizzy. They've decided they want to target him heavily. You know, they want to try to shake him up because they were threatening doxing. Now, they know that doxing, no matter what you do, doxing, that's an ugly thing to throw at somebody. It's especially interesting to see people like Bruce talking about Shizzy's wife at all in chats too. You know, I remember when this
guy is unbelievable. He filed a court filing all about my wife, my practice in my life, my wife, my practice in my life. Remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All because people were like, well, how is her arm dislocated if she's teaching yoga?
Yeah.
It's a legitimate question. But the second you talk about his wife, he files court motions, but he's talking about Shizzy's wife. Oh, yeah. What does her wife have to do with any of this? What does his wife have to do with any of anything? Has Shizzy's wife ever commented on any of this? They don't even know who she is.
He straight up. So today in Milltown's live earlier today, Bruce Manskin posted, and I'm quoting here, "I want someone to privately contact me if they know Shizzy's name and location."
And what does he have to do with this?
Because he is such a thin-skinned piece of shit that Shizzy made fun of him and he can't take it. Because he is these are people that have never been told no in their life. They are always, they're the kind of people that if they're losing, say, checkers or whatever, they flip the board over when they get shitty I mean, yeah. They brought in this mentally unhinged person, and they've tried to use them as a bludgeon. Now, I get the feeling that they don't really know. See, at first, they were saying that they had Shizzy, They were like, we know who he is. Well, apparently Bruce is giving away the game that they don't actually know who he is. Because if they did, then they wouldn't be asking for information on him. But him to be doing this kind of stuff, that's messed up. That's absolutely messed up. You have a guy that is being threatened with litigation. This woman is going on all of these different shows. I mean, buying up freaking domains, trying to do business damage and more. And you have these people who are being sued because of a conspiracy. You have them trying to dox the guy. And here, check this out. I got sent this. This is 100%.
Hey, Lauren's in the chat. Hey, Lauren, nice to see you. Good to see you. I didn't respond to your text, and I meant to. You asked me what day I could stream. I'm going to respond right now. I'm going to. I don't know why I didn't respond. Probably I just got busy.
Never. No, I'm just playing. That would be really funny. I like texting people stuff like that, but if they don't, some people take it personal, like I really meant it. I did that before, and somebody got really mad about it. I was like, that was a joke, right? No, I didn't know it was a joke. Well, then you must not watch my show very much. Yeah, but check this out. There.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is, what this is? This is shameful.
Shame.
That's a harassing piece of shit.
He is.
I mean, he very much is. Let's see what his other wonderful posts have included on this too. Let's see. He's talking about his wife, bringing her up, period. Like I said, just bringing up his wife was a crime and a threat. But, and his
life
plan
was in danger the second anyone mentioned his wife.
And he's also talking about their plan is to try to get YouTube to release his information.
Which is ridiculous. I don't think YouTube will do it. It's like when David Gingras tried to get Reddit to release the Redditors' information, and he filed a fake subpoena. Remember that? He filed a subpoena, and Reddit was like, no, no, I'm not. We're not. Unless you have something signed by a judge, go F yourself. And I think that's what YouTube will say also. He's going to need to get a
even
judge.
With that, like these platforms, they end up fighting this stuff because ultimately, if they don't, then why do people use their platforms? I mean, if ultimately you can have just any random weirdo get a hold of, you're not just talking about your name, but where you live. They use lawfare. I mean, think about this. You think about what's really happening with this. They're using court. He loves to say under the guise of. Okay, well, under the guise of litigation, which is some of the most preposterous litigation I've ever seen. You have these people going after not just Shizzy's name. They want his, again, they want his location too. They want to know where he lives.
They want to dox him. It's all about doxing because she's not really suing
Bruce,
anybody.
You
Everyone
realize,
understand
Bruce,
this.
No, you realize, man, again, you threw your shit fit about your wife. Again, all of us, we all have people around us that we care about. And when you open these doors, you threw a shit fit about, again, a yoga schedule. These doors that you guys are trying, they don't close. And you have invited in an element. You have contracted them. That, God, they're terrible human beings. And they will bring in an element. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They'll cry. They love crying victim while they're doing this stuff. And like I said, they'll bring in an element that'll watch this from outside, and they will turn it all into, I've seen it before. They will go after everybody. And the thing is, man, I've already been there. You know, we've already had that, but you haven't. You know, it's like this third party element. Like they already bring in as part of their thing. You know, it's not an A, B. There's a C element that just likes to watch things burn. And they've already started contacting that because they are so desperate to do damage because they got butt hurt. Again, he got butt hurt over Shizzy writing letters.
Oh, let's be honest. He got butthurt a long time ago. He got butthurt when I wouldn't have him on the show, and then Larry didn't want to have him on the show, and he got butthurt because nobody was interested in his stupid mac and cheese story. That's what he's mad about. It's never been any different, and he's very thin-skinned. He cannot take a joke, especially about himself. That's another thing about all these people. They never learned how to laugh at themselves. All of us, me, you, Shizzy, God, so many of us that I know who do these, you know, who stream, even and Georgie and Mr. Coop, they're always making fun of themselves. We all make fun of ourselves constantly. Like the best comedy is, you know, aimed at yourself most of the time. These people never learned how to laugh at themselves. And I think this is why, like, we let these things that they say about us, they roll off our back because we're always roasting each other. We're meaner to each other than anybody is to us.
If I take a jab at you, it's a joke. You know, you can take it because ultimately in life, you're not a punchline. And that's the problem. When these people look in the mirror, their entire life is predicated on it's a punchline. And they can't take that, you know, because it would actually take a little bit of self-reflection and a lot of change. But they don't want that. They're always right. You notice that. They can't stand it. And the problems that points out about people, oh man. But Shizzy, like all of this really kicked up heavily toward him when the letter writing campaign went after Randy. They added in everybody. After he added in everybody, you know, let me see. Shizzy wrote that one letter, you know, basically saying, this guy, what the fuck, man? I mean, look at what this guy has done over and over. And he wrote back saying, that guy's just a drunk. He's this, he's that. Right. And since then,
you don't start none, won't be none. Why did Bruce decide to start with Shizzy? Why did he decide to do that? He knows what Shizzy does. He knows that he roasts everyone. Why did he start that with him? I mean, these people, they cannot take it. They can dish it out, but they cannot take it. And it's really a bad look. Everyone can see how immature it is. They like to call us immature. Yeah, we have immature senses of humor. Yep, we tell a lot of that's what she said jokes. That's true. But we have a mature point of view about laughing at ourselves and being able to take a joke.
I can totally make fun of a dipshit. You know, I mean, these people are dipshits. Yes, I make fun of them. You know, of course, I build channels to make fun of losers like this. You know, I think Shizzy though hit really close to home in his commentary. You know, talking about who these people are, especially with. Check this out. I think this is where it really personalized. So you had Shizzy, you know, we got added into this entire, I mean, it was just an insane letter back and forth, all sent to the bar, which would have gone nowhere, by the way. You know, it was absolutely just a shit show. I mean, anybody could look at it and tell that. But Shizzy responded. So what Bruce did is he was like, that person, Shizzywhiznut, he's an open alcoholic. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. You know, he's like, it doesn't have anything to do with the relevance that Randy Shogget. I'm trying to get him disbarred, guys. Really? So Shizzy wrote back and he was like, yeah, you know, about that. So Shizzy, this is why he's really pissy about it. Check this out. Give me 1 second.
Speaking of roasting, Starcasm wins for being the meanest. She roasts Jay so hard. I heard the stream today. She was just going after him. It was fantastic. Never
stream was
stop
funny.
that. So funny.
The stream was good. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So Shizzy writes.
His filing was genius. Jay, you're hired. Jay Hip, you're hired. I want you to.
Oh my God.
I want you to
pull up
represent me.
that. I need to pull that stuff up. Yeah, it was good. I told you. Everybody was like, no, maybe Jay Hip isn't the best lawyer. And I was like, no. You know, when you gotta have something.
Never have doubted you.
Never. I was like, per se. That's the way you go. If you want to play, go per se. That's the old saying.
If you want to play, go per se.
Yeah, that's the old saying. I think my grandma, to quote her, I think she said that. About.
Well, I personally feel that a lawsuit as dumb as this requires a lawyer who is equally dumb. And I think that Jay has just the right amount of dumbness that we need for this lawsuit. And I mean that in the best way, Jay. I really do. It
was amazing. I would even call that a perfect mistake. It was so good.
We have to bring that up.
I'm going to. I've got it. I'll bring it up in a minute.
We have to do it. But can I show you something? What are we reading?
Just a minute before I lose my thought.
All right. Before you lose your thought.
This is why Shizzy, they're after it, because Shizzy sent this. This was his comment back to you. It's just a drunk. He sent this saying, well, dear members of the board, this is a formal response. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just to note, a formal response to clarify my role or lack thereof in the ongoing matter involving Bruce P. Manskin and to document a disturbing pattern of retaliation, legal misconduct, and jurisdictional abuse on his part directed at me, a private citizen, for declining to platform him or adopt his narrative. I am not a party to any litigation involving him, not a witness, not an attorney, I have no legal standing, but, well, let's talk about all these few things. And, not everything, but let's look at that. And this is what he sent. So
it was a very good letter.
Yeah, it is. It's actually a solid letter. And after he sent this, they have been on the doxing kick, I've noticed. 100%.
Well, yeah, they're pissed about it. They're pissed about it, but you know what? Be mad. Cry harder. All right, I have to show you this because I saw this a while ago. But we didn't talk about it because I don't talk about every single stupid thing I see online. Oh wait, now I just lost it. There it is. Okay, wait, how do I do this? How do I make it bigger? How did it went small? Why did it go small? Hold on.
Phrasing.
Where's my button? That's what she said. Where is it? My button.
Why did it go small?
Phrasing.
That's what she said.
All right. I want to look at this post and I can't make it bigger for some reason. Don't say it. I can't. All right. There's just going to be a lot of that's what she said jokes tonight. I tried to make this large and I can't stop saying it. It's not working out.
Oh my God.
All right, never mind. I'm just going to read it. So I skipped over this because I knew that Lips had posted this herself. Like clearly she had posted this. It's all, she's got it all. Intelligence, wit, kindness, empathy, and a heart of gold. Her beauty shines from the inside out and her confidence is inspiring. She's a true gem and her presence makes the world a brighter place. She's the queen of the game and the warriors are head over heels for you. Your haters, they're just noise fading into the background. Meanwhile, your fans, all 7 of them, the true warriors adore and love you for who you are. Intelligent, witty, stunning. They appreciate your strength, your charm, and your unwavering confidence. You're the real MVP. And they're cheering you on every step of the way. And then we have an AI picture of a woman with a normal looking face without inflated lips. So I'm not even sure who they're allegedly talking about, but I can guess that they're talking. Oh, look, it says here.
Yeah.
Legally
Have
lesbian.
have you looked at the comments?
Wait, yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. So
Okay.
I go to the
Yeah, there's
comments,
George.
and
There's
the
George
very
Brown.
first one is
Yep.
Leslie.
It's her.
That Leslie that says you are a gift from God. Prayer and blessing with the person who posted this, like you did. You posted it, and then you commented on your own post.
Yeah, that's her art account.
That we know that George Brown is her account because she's
Yeah,
posted
admittedly
with it
her
saying, "I'm Leslie. This is Leslie." Look at the. Oh, here now I figured out how to get it bigger. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
You know, you just practice makes perfect. You are a gift from God. And then everyone's calling her out. Ha ha, you have to like your own post. Oh, Leslie, seriously, you sure love yourself. And now she's talking to herself. The anonymous participant is talking to George Brown. Thank you. I use anonymous because the foot soldiers, hodunks, used to troll my Facebook pages. Oh, I see. I told you you're pathetic, says George Brown. You really are a sad sack. What? Everyone knows George is Leslie.
Actually, this was posted before George Brown. She had come out and said that she was that account. So, but everybody knew before then, and they kept playing the game. I'm not her. I'm not her. And then she comes out and's like, I am her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and starts cross posting shit. Yeah, it was the best reveal.
You know, I've been watching that Social Catfish YouTube channel like a lot. Leslie's behavior is, I wonder if she's ever catfished anybody on Facebook. I mean, she has so many fake profiles. You know what, girl? You should try a Nigerian scam. You might be able to take some old lady for 30 grand. Because, you know, you just do her one of those or some lonely guy out there. You'll probably end up with his retirement account with all your fake accounts. I shouldn't give her those ideas because they're illegal. Definitely don't do that. But I feel like she has that feel to her, you know, the catfish feel.
All these people, I mean, you know, I use a faceless avatar. Again, you know, I use talking pickles and all kinds of other shit. Obviously, it's self-deprecating, you know. I laugh at myself with a lot of it. But they catfish, I mean, they create avatars and they try to showcase people that are obviously not them. And with male audiences, again, that's one of the ways that you see people always trying to trick men into giving money, you know, and get in a claim.
Totally. Wait a minute. Lauren is very upset. She just said, is that not Tug's real face? Oh no, you just destroyed her dreams. You know.
No. Like, actually, I'm telling you that my body's actually built more like a pickle. That's what I'm telling you. It's more like
so he has like a pickle body, but an umbrella.
Yeah, I've got
face.
small arms, you know. Like you can hear my kids when they talk about me, and they're like, "Wait a minute," you know. Like my daughter the other night live was like, "Yeah, I've got these 2 orange drinks." She's talking about Fantas, you know. And I was like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to have those, you know. Those are mine." And she's like, "Well, you don't need them." She patted my belly because you're fat. It's like, oh my God. Oh crap. I got burned by a 5-year-old right there.
Let's talk about catfishing, by the way. Check out these thumbnails. Check out this. Oh my God, the new intro. Is this supposed to be Lisa, the redhead?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Is this a joke? We've seen Lisa. She doesn't have teeth. She's like in her 60s. What the actual hell? But we're supposed to believe. This is what she wants people to believe. This is the person talking, the redhead with the big tatas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's supposed to be them. Like they're trying to portray to the world that that's them.
This is catfishing.
Well, this is also a lesson to men out there. If a person has a point, wow, that's what you should judge it based on. Because images that you're fed, when you strip away the filters anyway, you know, a lot of people, it reduces automatically, you know, as far as that look that they're trying to get money with. And then beyond that, I mean, you may be just looking at some crazed AI picture. You know, again, look at the points. Look at what they're saying, not just the picture. And if you like the picture too, great. That's awesome. But God, don't just buy in. Oh, Lord. So
Now,
bad.
this is much more like what Lisa actually looks like. This is much better. This is very close. Imagine the different. I mean, you guys have seen her picture. She doesn't look anything like that. Like nothing, not even close.
I have something for that. I got to find it real quick. I have something right for this, you know? I just have to find it real quick.
Okay.
It's stuck in between.
It is shocking to me how they get away with this. It really is. It's just shocking.
Everything else I shit at Docket. That one shocks you. I love for real. I'm waiting for tonight or tomorrow's live stream. It'll go. I'm going to predict this one off of it. It's going to be something like this, Megan. Here you go.
Where is your? I don't see it.
Oh, the germ. He said I'm not a supermodel. Donate. I am a supermodel. That's how it's going to be.
She's in that. She's actually saying, I'm creating another sexy avatar.
This is me 100%. I thought it was funny. Like they pulled up a picture of me. And they were like, "Oh my God, look at him!" And I was like, "Jesus Christ, man! Those people, oh Lord, compared to them, oh God, man."
I know. They tried to go after me too. For having
look at the whole cast there.
Something, and it's
not just one of them though. Look at the whole cast. I mean,
I'm also
not butt hurt because of the Whopper thing. The guy who does not blink during his fucking stream. Oh my God, man!
I'm also not afraid to turn on my camera. I turn on my camera on my day streams all the time. Like I'm not afraid to be me on camera, so everybody knows what I look like. Like literally, everyone knows all the time what I look like. They're literally doing a catfish. It's a catfish.
I look like. Let me see. Let's see. Like there's my belly. Oh, look at that.
That's a slappable belly. I know. Yeah, I understand why the girls do it.
It is.
No,
like Buddha. Like Buddha was a role model.
They rub it for luck.
I love these avatars, by the way. Like these, they close in. It's like when I'm on people's streams, sometimes I'll do this. I'll just have them like zoom in and out.
I like the zooming in and out. That's always funny.
At you. I'm staring. What are you doing?
I'm getting a multitude of text messages telling me to check Twitter DMs. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, right. So apparently, Paint Chips has been kicked off of Substack. Did you hear about that?
I did indeed. I've got a writer.
But it sounds like people are saying that he's still there. So maybe he's lying about being kicked off of Substack.
Maybe it's one of the how many accounts? Who knows?
All right, I think what it is he can't post, but they didn't remove his old posts. So he is banned going forward, I guess, but they didn't remove all the other horrible shit that he posted before. Maybe they should reconsider that. I don't know.
I just find it funny. Like these people have called for the mass flagging of any channel out there. That they 100% have been. Lips did it the other day just openly, and I thought, are you kidding me? You people that brazenly violate terms of service on every platform. You think that you really want that kind of heat? I mean, seriously. Oh my God. They violate as is. I mean, without any flagging on some of the stuff that they do.
I know. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. All right, you know what we're going to get to today? So there is a new filing on the docket for
Yep.
Fed 1.
I'm gonna put that
And
in the box.
before we get to that filing, I have a new filing that, not a new one, an old filing we need to look at because this new filing is a response to that one. So earlier today, I was on with Mr. Coop and Georgie, and which, by the way, Mr. Coop and Georgie, if you're in the chat, you're going to be really mad when I tell you this. But apparently Tug was waiting around for an invite, and he didn't.
I was like,
get
hey.
one.
They were like, yeah, we'll send out invites to both of you. And I was like, all right, well, I was like, send one over to me. I waited for about 15 minutes. I was like, well, I'm out of time then. So.
And then I didn't look at my text, so I didn't know that he was waiting for one, or I would have sent it. So you missed out on the Tug or not. He would have jumped on, but you missed out because you didn't send him the invite. Oops.
They had that streaming snafu. I'd have.
But no, I was on there and we were going over the latest filing, and I was like, I don't understand what this is about. I don't know what this is in reference to, because I was so stuck on the most recent things that I did not realize Randy was responding. Oh, she sent it to you on Facebook, Tug. Well, he's not on Facebook regularly.
I typed and I was like, send it to X. Send it to X.
I'll just send it to X or to email.
I just never go to Facebook. That's fine though. Like, it's all joking. Anyway.
No, he's never going to forgive you, and he's never going to come on now.
Yes, I'll never forgive you. I'll break your computer psychically.
Oh man, yeah. Timu Crew is fired. Sorry.
You're fired. You know what? I love the fact that they tried to throw that at them, and and they were like, "Hell yeah, that's us. We're good. We're golden." And they turned it into a brand, and they used it. And it's hilarious. It works out for them.
But that's that sense of humor, right? Where they can laugh at themselves, and the other side can't do that. They just can't. They cannot. All right. So the filing we went over today on Coop and Georgie was Randy's response to the motion to dismiss under 41B. That was actually document 117 from ages ago. It was this one, document 117, filed on March 27th by Bruce. Remember, because the case got frozen, right? It got stayed for 30 days, and then that 30 days turned into almost 60, and it was a whole thing. And remember, there was a flurry of filings right before that happened. Yeah, oh, Georgie, totally. In your defense, I could have forwarded it to him. I just didn't know he was waiting on it until after I was on my way out. I didn't see my texts because I was concentrating, trying to figure out what this filing was about. So it's actually a response to document 117. And I wanted a refresher on document 117. And as I read it today, I was laughing so hard at the idiocy.
Oh, it's so bad. It is so bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
Well, all those documents, you gotta remember like the background of those documents too. That was when Bruce was losing his fucking mind because you had the sanction stuff coming up, right? So he was freaked out about that, and he was dropping all these filings into the court, throwing fits, saying, "Oh, we need sanctions for this, and I need sanctions for that." So he dropped a bunch of them. Finally, the judge, by the way, should have stepped on that from go. He should not have let him file like 5 freaking sanction filings before he stepped in. That was ridiculous. He was like, strike all that. You can put it into one. That I can imagine if Randy did that, by the way, and papered the case like that. But hey, from Bruce, it just got a no, file it with one. But while he was doing that, that's when this came in too. So.
Oh yeah. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd what the judge allowed. So this was one of those flurries of motions, and I may have not read this on stream. I think Tug did, but I may not have been there for it because I missed a bunch of stuff back then. And then once we were past it, I was just like, it's too much to go back and read all of this crap.
This
here
is
we
back
go.
when, you remember when he was pushing the highlighted deposition?
The highlighted deposition.
Remember when he was having?
Yes,
like,
that was this.
yeah,
That was in
yeah,
this.
Yeah, yeah that's
This is
what,
one of the. This is
Mhm.
you're gonna laugh so hard because this is in here. So this
well, he
is the
put in. There's a 117.1, and it's a 324
it's the transcript.
page. Yeah, it's the whole transcript with it.
And he's going to explain the color coding. You're going to just really love this because he's going to explain
sorry,
it.
I didn't mean to
But
jump on that.
no, what I actually FRCP, I want to explain 41B real quickly. I'm going to get a summary of it because this is going to be very interesting and very important. So 41B, which is what this is filed under, governs the involuntary dismissal of a case in federal court. It allows a defendant to move for dismissal of a plaintiff's action or any claim against it due to the plaintiff's failure to prosecute the case, comply with court rules, or follow a court order. Remember those three things, chat. We are going to look for in this filing, where has Jeremy Hales not prosecuted the case? Where has Jeremy Hales not complied with court rules? Or where has he not followed a court order? Because those are the only three things that you can get dismissed under 41B. Okay, here we go. Counsel threatening sanctions casually or as a matter of course has no place among officers of the court. You haven't even drafted this threatened motion. That would require you to do some research in which you will see that you were wrong. Thus, your conduct on display here threatens the civility and professionalism on which the rules in the court rely to resolve disputes. Randall Shockett, email to Bruce Manskin.
How is that even bad? Like,
it's not. He's literally saying, here are the court rules. This is how you're wrong. And you shouldn't be threatening sanctions casually. And you're doing it wrong. The court's order in document 43, and we have to put on our biggest whiny voice for this because it's the whiniest motion you'll ever heard.
It's buried in between. Remember, folks, again, this is buried in between 5 pushes for sanctions as well. So God, those were bad too. I mean, he's throwing a fit. This is him on the way out the door, and he's basically saying, "I'm taking you with me, Randy Shockett."
Yeah, and Randy couldn't respond because the judge put a hold on the case. Remember, he was like, no more filings. Stop. So now that the case is opened up again, Randy has to file his responses to all the shit that papered the docket. Court's order 43 was precipitated by the deposition of the plaintiff on December 2, 2024, in which plaintiff spent most of 5 hours going on lengthy, non-responsive shouting tirades, insulting the undersigned's appearance, threatening the undersigned, and other disruptive conduct which Mr. Shockett refused to even attempt to restrain with the slightest verbal admonition or instruction to his client. He was, footnote number 1 says, and he has a footnote on the quote from Randy. He was responding to the undersigned's email concerning the plaintiff's initial disclosures. Thank you. I see there are no damages calculated. You filed this lawsuit before you were prepared with any expert opinion or anything else to support any economic damages. You may consider this a renewed offer to withdraw the entire lawsuit without facing Rule 11.
It's so whiny.
Not even when expressly requested to do so by the undersigned on 4 separate occasions, with his refusals having the counter effect of encouraging and emboldening the plaintiff to escalate his abuse of the deposition. And the undersigned. A copy of that transcript is filed as an exhibit with this motion color-coded as follows for easy scrolling. Green is tirades and insults. Yellow, non-responsive. Red, direct threats by the plaintiff to Mr. Manskin. And blue, Mr. Shockett refusing to control the plaintiff. All right, Tug,
I
you can
love
pick
this.
up here at the court's order.
Actually, will you continue on? I'm doing something right this second.
All right, fine. The court's order, document 43, stated name calling, personal attacks, and obstructionist behavior has no place in a deposition or any other proceeding in this case. Experienced lawyers, like the ones involved in this case, should be able to control themselves and their clients.
Oh my God.
And then we have a footnote, number 2.
You notice he's experienced, though, and he knows everything that he's supposed to do, unless it comes to, I don't know, attending sanctions hearings.
Right. Right. He's a real stickler for the rules until it comes to showing up for a hearing. The only client not being controlled by their counsel was I almost said counsel, was the plaintiff. Although document 43 gives the impression that the undersigned was equally responsible with Mr. Docket and the plaintiff for acting inappropriately during the December 2 deposition, the defendants most respectfully and vehemently disagree. In 27 years as a litigation attorney, the undersigned's conduct in depositions or any proceedings has never been depicted in a court decision as in number 43. Really? Never? Never?
Never.
I don't think that's true. I have a feeling that is not true. Your conduct, sir, has been the subject of many a disciplinary hearing.
Yes, indeed. We've had some very fascinating reads from other people.
Yeah, very fascinating. A cursory scrolling through the color-coded transcript refutes the equivalency and any comparability whatsoever between the conduct of the undersigned and that of the plaintiff and Mr. Docket during the December 2 deposition. Wah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to highlight the parts that I think that make them look bad, but I definitely won't highlight any part that makes me look bad.
Yeah, he didn't highlight any of the stupid shit he did. So lawyers involved in this case should be able to control themselves and their clients, but they apparently cannot, which is why the court will supervise the partial redeposition. Everybody in this case is now on notice. If this type of behavior continues, there will be sanctions. Those sanctions will not be light. They may include stiff monetary penalties, dismissal of this action, and disciplinary proceedings against the attorneys. See all of this shit? Affirming disciplinary proceedings against counsel for, among other things, making demeaning remarks about opposing counsel's physical traits and demeanor, and recognizing that a federal court has the power to control admission to its bar and to discipline attorneys. Wah.
God, what a whiner, man.
Okay, are you ready to read now?
Nope, not yet.
What? My throat's
I'm in
going
the
to
middle
give
of a video
out.
game, man. I can't
That's
pause
what she
until
said.
I die. I can't
What she
pause.
said.
I didn't know you were going to read something. I started a video. I can't pause yet. I'll be done within 5 minutes. So,
all right. Tug's email is granularheaven@gmail.com. Granularheaven@gmail.com. All right. Well, then I have to read my normal voice, or I'm going to have.
I'm playing a 4-player game right now. It's very
as provided in the guidelines for professional. Well, I'm glad you're being such a professional on our live stream.
I'm being very professional. Hey, when you're in control, I'm listening.
Yeah, I know. You're listening. Okay. As provided in the guidelines for professional conduct, a lawyer always should interact with parties, counsel, witnesses, jurors, or prospective jurors, court personnel, and judges with courtesy and civility, and should avoid undignified or discourteous conduct that is degrading to the court proceedings. Oh, I don't know. Like, what would be discourteous and degrading? Calling your opposing counsel counsel all over.
Counsel. Well, I mean, talking shit to the court every time that they make a decision. Remember the epic shit fit about Gainesville to Gainesville that came Gainesville to Gainesville to Gainesville?
Yes.
I mean, that was amazing. They made a song about me because, Your Honor, let me tell you, I looked through your decision and you were very wrong.
You were wrong. The court is wrong. I think it's funny that he chose Florida Bar versus Norkin. If you know anything about this case, about Norkin, oh my God, Norkin is unbelievable. This guy was a horrific example of a lawyer. And the bar went after him. Finally,
You have to be
after
pretty
like,
damn horrible to have the bar go after you.
oh, you're not kidding. You know what? I think it was somebody sent me this today. This is an indictment of the Florida bar, by the way. This was in the Miami Herald. Oh, come on, load. Why won't you load? Why won't you load? What is wrong with you? Florida bar. Well, let me try this. Let me Google it because it's out there. And this Florida bar seeks suspension of Coral Gables attorney. Wait till you see what this guy did. Here it is. Wait till you see what he did. Let me pull this down for a second. Because this will give you some idea into what the hell is going on at the Florida bar. It's not good. I'll just put it that way. It ain't good. Florida bar seeks suspension of Coral Gables attorney accused of fleecing clients. This was just posted 16 hours ago. The Florida bar has urged the state Supreme Court to immediately suspend the law license of Coral Gables attorney J. Louis Farrow, accusing him of causing great public harm in multiple complaints filed by clients who claim he fleeced them while doing little to no work. This sounds a lot like Lips, by the way. The Florida bar's petition for emergency suspension also accuses Farrow of lying to the Supreme Court about his agreement with the bar to dismiss a contempt action brought against him last year, while its lawyers pursued more than a dozen misconduct grievances from his clients. The petition filed last Wednesday says Farrow has engaged in blatantly abusive litigation tactics, failed to comply with court orders, charged and received exorbitant fees from clients for which he produced no or minimal work product, and submitted fraudulent filings to the Supreme Court in the pending contempt action. Farrow was the subject of a Miami Herald story based on interviews with more than a dozen former clients who said that Farrow had deserted them without completing the legal work he promised them. Gee, doesn't that sound? Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like?
It sounds like a few people, actually. It's what it sounds like. I'd like to limit it to one, but it sounds like a few.
Well, it's very close to how Lips got in trouble. She was, She was hired to do cases and then wouldn't show up at hearings.
Yeah, but we've heard the same thing
beauty
about
pageants or whatever.
I mean, look.
Oh yeah, true.
And I mean, what did we see happen with Stark? To be honest, every time something came up, it was like, oh, can't be there. Nope.
Yep, can't be there. The story featured a Florida couple who took out a second mortgage on their home in 2023 to pay him $80,000 in legal fees for a lawsuit against the landlord of their go-kart racing track. St. Petersburg couple Bobby and Terry Downs said Farrow didn't file the suit as promised, leading to their complaint against him with the Florida bar last summer. While they're happy the Florida bar has finally taken emergency action against Farrow, Bobby Downs expressed disappointment that it took so long. I think it's a miserably failed system that we have, she told the Herald on Tuesday. You don't say. Farrow, 49, a University of Miami School of Law graduate, who was admitted to the Florida bar in 2003, formerly had his office in Coral Gables, but now appears to be working in Davie. He could not be reached for comment at his office or on his cell phone. The numbers for both were not functioning. Farrow also
oh my God.
did not respond to a query sent by the Herald to two of his email addresses. You know what? He's going to be the next guy to join the squad. He's going to be the next guy to join in the clown car. How much you want to bet that Bruce is calling him right now? I've got a great case for you. A few months after the Herald story was published in November, Farrow, his wife and infant child, filed a 267-page lawsuit against dozens of defendants, including other law firms, insurance companies, and the newspaper's parent company, McClatchy Media, and one of its journalists, accusing them of aiding and abetting a cyber conspiracy against them. Farrow's case, filed in February, is pending in federal court in Miami. A critical turning point in the Florida bar's case against Farrow occurred in late November, when the bar's lawyers filed a petition asking the Supreme Court to find him in contempt based on his failure to respond to 13 separate grievances. He just didn't respond.
It's just like, fuck it, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. The bar asked the Supreme Court to suspend Farrow until he responded to each of the grievances, but the court did not do so. On March 18th, Farrow filed documents that claimed, this is great, that he and the bar agreed to drop the contempt case. Those filings are among the key elements in the bar's emergency petition filed last week. These pleadings falsely proclaimed an agreement between respondent Farrow and the bar to voluntarily dismiss the contempt proceedings that were then pending in this Supreme Court. The bar's emergency petition stated the alleged stipulation was clearly suspect as it contained errors and misspellings, including one of the then assigned bar counsel's names. The pleadings were designed to mislead this court into believing that the bar had agreed to a dismissal of the contempt action when, in fact, nothing of the kind had ever occurred. The emergency petition, which included affidavits by bar counsel Randall Berman and investigator John Barena, asserted that Farrow is undeterred by orders of the court. Who else do we know who is undeterred by the orders of the court? He has caused or is likely to cause immediate and serious harm to clients, the legal system, or the public, and immediate action must be taken to protect his clients and the public, the petition stated, requesting Farrow's immediate suspension as a lawyer in Florida. While other clients of Farrow's expressed appreciation for the bar's emergency action, they too questioned why it has taken so long to punishment. Mike Casantini originally hired Farrow in 2021 to represent him in a dispute with movers he had hired for a cross-country move from Sacramento to Raleigh. But 3 years later, Casantini said that Farrow himself became unreachable, which made it impossible for him to collect the money he was owed from the moving companies. Casantini filed a bar complaint against the attorney last year. This is a year too late, Casantini said about the bar's emergency petition. The reign of terror that Jay Farrow is leveraging on victims has continued. So as you can see, the bar is fucking useless. I apologize to those of you who are like, can you stop swearing? No, I can't, because stuff like this makes me swear. It makes me angry. The bar is fucking useless. You can be out there as a lawyer, literally terrorizing your clients, taking their money, stealing from them, not showing up to hearings, and they don't do shit.
They don't. And that is that is the sole reason they are supposed to exist, to go in and to hold these idiots accountable, you know? I mean, it's supposed to be about...
Do you know when they did something? When did they do something? What did that article just teach us?
When they didn't listen to the bar. That's when.
No, it was when the media did a story.
Oh, yeah.
It was when it hit the Miami Herald.
But
suddenly,
it became
the
important.
bar got interested.
They don't do anything except maybe slap people on the hands until you argue with the bar as well. You know, when the bar gets butthurt about it, then maybe they'll do something. Even then, sometimes they don't. I mean, we look at, like with the Bruce mess, okay? Like, look what he did with the bar. Look at how he reacted to them, how they were talking about, we won't have phone conversations with this guy. I mean, he is that out of it. And yet, what's happened with him? He's still out there, still doing all this crazy shit, talking about doxing a guy today.
What about Paint Chips, who's literally been disbarred, but continues to do the things he's doing? Giving legal advice, interfering in legal cases. The bar should still have some jurisdiction over him because he is a former attorney.
Jeez. You talk about that whole system there. It allows, like, right from go, when you look at the articles and other bullshit that they were dropping, and then you start looking at cases that they were talking about, start looking at the filings and what people said about what he was doing. Oh my God. I mean, it just went right back into all this crazy bullshit, and nothing's happened ever.
The chat has asked, who polices the bar? They do.
Yeah.
The Bar Association is lawyers policing lawyers. Do you think that's a good idea? Anybody think that's a good idea?
It's the whole who watches the watchman question, you know?
It's absurd. The bar is just a bunch of lawyers investigating other lawyers. How hard do you think they're going to be on them? Because every one of them is thinking, well, what would I do if it was me? Yeah. How would I want?
We always talk about like police and how police shouldn't police themselves. You know, you should have citizen boards and, you know, this or that. Well, all of these occupations do that, though. What happens with judicial misconduct? Who decides in those cases? Who decides
judges.
With prosecutor, prosecutorial misconduct, all of that. We end up with, depending on what it is, the bar a lot of times they're involved. It's just.
Oh God, yeah. And the judicial misconduct boards are even worse because those are like other judges. And it's a whole like country club. And they're all friends. And they don't want to come down hard on each other.
No, because somebody might come down on them one day.
Yes, Georgie. So this document that we're reading, Bruce's document 117, is the document that Randy responded to today. Yeah. It was filed back in March. And the reason why he filed today is because the case is finally open again, and he has to respond to the things he wasn't allowed to respond to way back when. So we're going over this one. So I got waylaid there by Norkin because I remembered. Not
really. I mean, you were adding in how useless if we're talking about the bar.
Useless. Yeah, so useless. So okay. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 41B provides.
You want me to read something, by the way? I can't read.
Yeah, you could start here. That would be great.
Yes.
You're ready.
Voluntary dismissal. You sound like you're ready to voice a little.
Yeah, are you ready to participate in the stream tonight?
I have. I have told my other friends that I was like, yes, I'm actually supposed to be, doing something professional right now. And they're like, oh yeah, you're on a live stream, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I know. I've got to park the video game. I apologize. And they're like, dork, you're supposed to be working. Get out there and work. I love it. I love it with the people. Like, I know they're like, hey, are you I was sitting here, I was paying attention and doing everything, and I was updating one of my game consoles, with the handhelds, and I noticed somebody messaged, and it was like, request to add for whatever game match. I was like, well, maybe I have a little time just to do that.
I'm actually kind of impressed that you could play and stream at the same time. You're doing pretty good.
I need 2 or 3. Well, even when I'm reading, I'm usually cataloging stuff. I blow it up enough where I can see it, but I'm still putting things in folders.
Steve says Tug became his team's handicap, trying to do 2 things at once. Rest of the team was killed 13 times in a row.
Well, I definitely wouldn't want the video games, like when you're doing 2 things like that. I wouldn't want that to be real life, let's just say.
Right.
I may have blown us up a little bit, but just a little. All right. So Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 41B provides involuntary dismissal effect if the plaintiff fails to prosecute or to comply with the rules of court order. A defendant may move to dismiss the action or any claim against it, unless the dismissal order states otherwise. The dismissal under this subdivision B, and any dismissal not under this rule, except one for lack of jurisdiction, improper venue, or a failure to join a motion under Rule 19, operates as blah, 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 blah merits. But for real, you mentioned this at the beginning. What people need to focus on is why you can get dismissed, for this specifically. So Rule 41B, it authorizes a district court to dismiss a complaint for failure to prosecute or failure to comply with a court order or federal rules. Again, see blah, blah, blah. Dismissal under 41B is appropriate where there is a clear record of quote unquote willful contempt and an implicit or explicit finding that lesser sanctions would not suffice. So this has already been discussed. We've already had sanctions hearings on this case. So this would not be appropriate in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
You know, we've already had an answer to this.
It says Rule 41B is appropriate where there's a clear record of willful contempt. The judge has never held Randy in contempt. There's no clear record of willful contempt. Or finding that lesser sanctions wouldn't suffice.
Yeah. We've already had sanctions that have been involved with this, and the only party that has still not gone before the court and said, essentially said, hey, sorry about my behavior. I'll take my lumps and, let's move on. Well, who was that? It wasn't Randy. So, October 15th, threat, sanctions, Mr. Shock.
Okay, wait. So this part needs a little introduction.
Okay.
This is I don't know why he didn't attach these as exhibits, but he was. This filing is so manic, it's completely disorganized. He doesn't even put a header on this that tells us we are now going from his legal argument into his exhibits, but we're going into exhibits. He has cataloged all of Randy's communications, either from his legal assistant or from Randy to him, that make it that he is claiming are somehow willful contempt, a clear record of willful contempt.
And when you read it, so it's amazing what he's saying is willful contempt here too. Dear Mr. Manskin, now that the court has ruled against your position on discovery, so you note it, against your position, are you available for a Zoom/phone conference with Attorney Shockett regarding Rule 26 discovery? And if so, kindly provide 3 days in times within the next 10 days where you're available. Please do this within 48 hours or you'll force us to sing sanctions against you. Remember, the Rule 26 meeting is due 11/12/2024. Thank you. And signed.
Okay. October 17th. Second threat of sanctions from legal assistant.
Legal assistant. How dare you send your legal assistant?
Dear Mr. Manskin, thank you for responding. Your refusals to even answer emails regarding you inappropriately contacting our expert witness is duly noted. This will be shown to the court. In any event, the deadline for the Rule 26 conference is November 5th, 2024. I've asked you several times, and you have yet to respond.
Why would you put this in there? Like that sentence there. Your refusal to even answer emails regarding you inappropriately contacting our expert witness? What?
Yeah. Well, he thinks this makes Randy look bad.
He's contacting outside of normal channels. He's contacting an expert witness.
I guess. I think I remember this. I think he tried to contact the handwriting expert.
That is insane. I don't, but there's so much that's going on that I don't. That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's the only expert witness that we know of, handwriting expert, that had been decided at the time.
Hold on one second. I have a kid raid. Yes, are you going to bed?
Yeah, and also, did you make money?
What? Did I make money? Yeah, I'm making some good breadsticks. The cheddar is flowing.
Donation.
Donation. Nate. What did you just say?
I just said donations.
Yes, he's very excited about it. He loves breadsticks. Say, I love breadsticks.
I love breadsticks.
Don't shout into the microphone. Our
I have
ears.
to tell my kids it is.
Our little ears. The microphone is very sensitive. You just have to talk. It's fine. You don't have to raise your voice. All right, you're going to bed now? You're going to bed?
Yeah.
So funny.
All right. Well, give me a hug. Give me a huggy. And kissy. All right, you go to bed and be good.
Yeah, mama.
All right. Now listen, wait. I'm going to come and check. I want it. Wait, bring me your Nintendo and your iPad.
Dang, you really don't trust me.
No, I don't. I don't. I need the electronics. Sorry. Dad is not supervising bedtime tonight, so I'm not taking any chances.
That's funny. I always hear, I'm like,
Thank you, sweetie.
I'm way
Go turn off the
too
lights.
lax. I hear that,
Mhm.
quite a bit. It's
Uh-huh.
down.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
You're way too soft on the girls. I mean, they are, but they're cute. I mean, it's hard to be like, no. They know. I mean, they've been around. That's one of the things with you, like especially little kids. They know all your buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they do. Yes, they do. He doesn't sleep so good when his dad doesn't put him to bed at night either. So hopefully he won't be up with a nightmare within 10 minutes.
I mean,
That
my
could
little one,
happen.
she doesn't have nightmares, but I'll find her like asleep on the end of the bed, whatever. She'll like roll into the bed in the middle of the night. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Well, yeah, the other night, this was funny. I went up to bed and he was in the middle of our bed, fast asleep. And I went back downstairs to tell my husband. I was like, oh, he's in bed. He rolled into our bed for some reason. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll move him later. By the time I got back upstairs, he was gone. And I went to check and I was like, where did he go? And he was fast asleep, or he was faking it really, really good. But I went into his room and he had climbed up and he has a bunk bed. So he climbed up in the bunk bed, either half asleep or asleep. I don't know. But I don't know how. I must have woken him up when I came in maybe. And maybe he was like, oh, why am I in here? And then went back to bed.
I'll sit down like in this office area, I've got a chair, my chair. Oh God, man, that chair is so kind of fall asleep in it sometimes, a lot of times I just camp out there and,
Yeah.
I'll wake up and the little one will be, asleep, like taking over a chair or asleep on it. The other day I woke up and she was asleep on the armrest of my chair. I was like, what are you doing? I just wanted to lay here. I wanted to listen to the TV and go to sleep and be whatever.
My little one it's his last day of school tomorrow. Can you believe that kids are still in school in New York?
Wow, that's crazy.
But we are. Tomorrow it's June 26th.
I know, that's
is the
wild.
last day of school. Yeah, but we don't start till after Labor Day. So
Still wild though. I mean
I know.
about a long
Especially because the last week of school is so bullshit. They don't do anything. They
Nope.
watch movies and like have half days and like they just do fun stuff. They're not even learning. So it's like, why are we doing this? It's just because of how many snow days we had. It keeps getting pushed out. But it's like the last week of school is such a waste. Anyway. All right.
kids
So
know
October.
it. They know it. I mean, that's
They know
the thing.
it.
Everyone knows it too.
I know, they know it. October 17th, second threat of sanctions from legal assistant. Dear Mr. Manskin, thank you for responding. Your refusal to even answer emails, already read that. In any event, the deadline for the Rule 26 conference is November 5th, 2024. I've asked you several times and you have yet to respond. Specifically, are you available by Zoom? Either way, here are 3 dates and times for the conference, and then the dates and times are there. So basically, he's just telling on himself that he has bad behavior.
Yeah. He's saying, I'm not picking dates. Well, also, he kept saying that Randy, his office, would not confer, but you can tell they're trying here.
Yeah. November
so-
22nd, threat of sanctions. I'm giving you an opportunity by the close of business today to respond to these proposed deposition dates. So again, not responding to deposition dates now, prior to moving for sanctions against you. For obvious delay, as you have not responded to those questions, but found the time otherwise to discuss non-issues. Sincerely, Randy Shockett. November 26th, another threat of sanctions. If you still insist on filing your motion tomorrow and not having a phone call on Monday, please know that whatever motion you eventually manage to write and file will be at your own peril, including at the risk of a Rule 11 motion for sanctions. It would please the court greatly, in my opinion, if you gave us times of your availability for a phone conference on Monday. can't get this guy to conference. This
That's
is
nuts.
all delay tactics. December 2nd, preemptive threat of sanctions.
Well, and the court, see, this tells you how useless the court has been, though. The court said over and over again, this type of behavior, this would get you sanctioned. You know, you must do this. You must chat. You must have conferences. And he's flat out, like you said, he's telling on himself.
Totally.
It's crazy.
On December 2nd, there's the preemptive threat of sanctions. Counsel, before the deposition begins, I wish to remind you of FRCP 30D3. At any time during a deposition, on motion of a party or of the deponent, and upon a showing that the examination is being conducted in bad faith or in such manner as unreasonably to annoy, embarrass, or oppress the deponent or party, the court in which the action is pending or the court in the district where the deposition is being taken may order the officer conducting the examination to cease forthwith from taking the deposition, or may limit the scope and manner of the taking of the deposition as provided in Rule 26. Oh!
Hey, Rule 26 one more time, motherfucker.
If the order made terminates the examination, it shall be resumed thereafter only upon the order of the court in which the action is pending. Upon demand of the objecting party or deponent, the taking of the deposition shall be suspended for the time necessary to make a motion for an order. The provisions of Rule 37A4 apply to the award of expenses incurred in relation to the motion. Should such a motion become necessary during the deposition of my clients this week, this email will be shown to the court. So all Randy did was quote him the law. Just reminding you to behave, because this is what happens if you don't. All right, Todd, you can start with December 2, threat of sanctions.
I love this. I love the fact that he's just telling on himself, though. You are wrong. Once a deposition transcript is filed with the court, it's public record. And because it seems you really don't do much research, or at least share any research, I'll tell you that it is stated very clearly in the local rules of the United States District Court of Northern District of Florida. Should you file a motion that disputes this, I'm advising you now that a Rule 11 motion will be forthcoming. Govern yourself accordingly, sir. So he's telling him you're wrong. Like, you can see what's amazing is we're losing the communications between that, where he's obviously there's a threat being made, you know, because they're talking about deposition transcripts.
Mm-hmm.
Then 3, threat to quote unquote show communications to the magistrate, accusations. Those conferences need to be meaningful and substantive. And without any information, we don't agree. And we remind you again that all of these communications will be shown to the magistrate should you choose to proceed further. I can tell you that your other motion has no legal basis. That much is obvious. You remember, by the way, when Randy said, I've tried to school this guy. I've tried to show him and tell him, you know, what you can and can't do. And the judge was like, oh, I haven't seen proof of that. Well, maybe you should read the fucking motions then, Judge. Because this guy's that's what this says.
That's what this says right here. He's literally trying to tell him. And he doesn't have any obligation to teach Bruce about Florida law or about federal law. He has no obligation to do this.
It's his opponent. I mean, you are in a competition. You know, it is who can prove the case most effectively.
Oh, and also who can use the rules to their advantage. And if your opponent doesn't know the rules, well, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. I mean, this isn't a reward for ineptitude. You know, Randy has been very nice, and he's like, yo, don't file that. That's garbage.
It has no legal basis. I'm telling you that.
But the judge acting like it is somehow his responsibility to look out for Bruce, too.
It's very upsetting.
Yeah, it's bullshit. You cannot tell a lawyer that they have to do that. Again, there have been stuff like this. He treated Bruce while he was in here like he was a pro se litigant.
He treated him like a short bus riding, helmet wearing, you know what. He did. He treated Bruce like he was somehow a failing, like he failed out of law school. And
Yeah,
you needed
like he
special
had somehow been
hand-holding.
suckered into this, you know, and he invited himself into this litigation. He makes threat after threat. Then when people respond, he plays the victim. This is his game.
He's a cry bully.
Yep. Very much so. So I can tell you either motion is a legal basis, that much is obvious. It also appears that you have already publicly provided information about the deposition to third parties. Can you confirm that you have not discussed what happened at the deposition with anyone else other than your client? Because you have people out there saying that you've already said these things to them already. Well, isn't that interesting?
Very.
So December 3rd, investigating, discussing deposition with others. Your refusal to answer whether or not you have released details of the deposition to third party speaks for itself. We are currently investigating. Oh no, they're looking into whether or not you've done that, BBB. And apparently you did. You know, when people were planning live streams around when you're doing, okay. December 4th. False accusations and threat to quote unquote show the court. We spoke for at least 2 minutes. You didn't quote unquote miss a call. You remember that whole thing. Oh, I missed a call. And he was like, you didn't miss a call. Like we were on this call for at least 2 minutes to state that we didn't speak because you missed a call is an egregious misrepresentation, which will be shown to the court upon phone records showing the call was not missed. In fact,
I remember this. Remember this? This was so crazy.
Yeah, he was. Randy's like, I've got phone records. They show we were on the phone, you know, and he was like, no, I missed a call. It's like, you don't miss a call and it stay on the line 2 minutes. That's not how that goes. In fact, we had substantive discussions. I just sent you an email to confirm the contents. Please respond to that email. Sincerely.
December 5th, threat of sanctions. Expect a motion for sanctions and protective order. I am on vacation in California in any event then. December 11th, threat of sanctions if his deposition is noticed. Emma will provide dates. The provision of dates does not mean we agree to the deposition. In fact, as you were previously made aware, should you file a notice of taking my deposition with a date that we agreed upon, it will be instantly met with a Rule 11 motion for sanctions, as well as a motion for protective order. Note again that our entire email string, including you unilaterally sending out a notice and scheduling a deposition without coordination, will be pointed out to the court. This is yet another violation by you of the federal rules of procedure and local rules. Please confirm that you no longer need any dates after being so warned. So this is new. I didn't know that Bruce wanted to take Randy's deposition.
Oh yeah, and yes. And remember when he threw a fit about the whole Stark thing? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, he threw a fit about Stark. Like he was mad about it. He actually, in comments, was saying that wasn't appropriate. He couldn't believe that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
you mean to take his
yeah, about Stark having his depot taken. And it's fascinating to me, you know, that he's out here going after Randy. Also, the way the court, the way they treated Bruce and wanting to add him to a case, they were like, oh, well, I can understand why he would get mad. And yet you have this, they want to depose Randy. He wants to do all this stuff, but you don't think that he was trying to add him as a litigant to the case? Are you fucking kidding me? All this tells me is that the judge did not read filings. You know, because when you look at them and you see what Bruce is doing, of course, he's saying there's a conspiracy. He's wanting to add in everyone. Then when he gets caught and called out on it, he was like, no. That's not what I was doing at all. What am I doing?
Yep. Let's see. December 11th, threat to file a motion to compel counsel's deposition. No telephonic conferences. Counsel, this will confirm that this email will be shown to the court and that you have refused to offer dates on your deposition. Once again, you will not find authority to do this in any of the federal rules. We will give you 24 hours to offer dates. Short of that, we will file it we will be filing a motion to compel your deposition. Finally, for the protection of all, we will no longer be having telephonic conferences. It will be strictly by email for all matters going forward. Happy holidays to everyone. Sincerely, Randy Shockett. I remember that. And also in his Connecticut disciplinary thing, the bar stopped taking telephone calls from him too. They said, we will only communicate with you by email.
I think all of that should have been pointed out to the
yes,
as far as dealing with him.
December 13th, motion to DQ is coming. It never did. Subject, motion to disqualify attorney Bruce Matskin for witness tampering counsel. We will send you the motion when it's finished, and you can reply at that time in writing as to your position on your pending disqualification. I wonder why they didn't file that. That would have been good. They should have. December 16th. Oh, this is you.
Give me a second. All right, December 16th. Sarcasm. Oh, not sarcasm. Oh, no. Good news of adding more defendants. Counsel, we have good news for you. The deadline to add parties, December 18th, and we'll be adding parties before then. So that'll give you another 14 days from the day we file to new motion for leave to amend. We'll be adding no new causes of action. However, we'll be adding 4 as additional co-conspirators, joint tortfeasors. As it is obvious you do not agree with the addition of the people we are already added. It is clear you will not consent to this because you, Ms. Weeks, are still included. Therefore, please confirm the above, and you'll get your extension automatically, and you can respond with one filing. Oh, no. How terrible that was, right?
I don't know
what's the problem
there.
I don't even get it. January 13th, stop being so ridiculous. Okay. What is the basis in all legal jurisprudence, but I can speak for a minute, for your motion to claim that somehow you are still responsible for a bill not sent to you? Show me a contract or any agreement which says you're responsible to pay this. Otherwise, stop being so ridiculous. Okay, what's the problem with that? 13th, threat of motion, false representation of payment for December 19th depo. Counsel, please see attached. We have paid the invoice now for January. Please pay immediately or we will file a motion with the court. What's the problem there? False representation. Again, we've seen the email chain that included the place that was paid. It was very concise on what had happened too. The place that provided it did not understand that they were paying for part of it. So they gave a bill to Randy Shockett for a copy. And he was like, no, you can't bill me for a copy because I'm paying for the original. Right. So I need to get that. And they went ahead and they fixed that. But he kept playing this game of, you never paid anything. I mean, it was spelled out. It would have been easy for him to go in and check. If he would have put in the same amount of effort he did in going after whatnot, Lord, But anyway, January 14th, threat of sanctions and account against you for abuse of process. What you're doing is thinly veiled attempt to remove the magistrate. This will be brought out and fleshed out in detail in our reply, along with a Rule 11 motion for sanctions, possibly even account against you for abuse of process.
We forgot the footnote.
Let's see. So, your endlessly ridiculous is offending content in 96.2. The only email underlying the plaintiff's motion, 96, he's throwing a fit. This is about the sanction hearing. That's what he's talking about here. That was A, writing by the undersigned, B, in this case, not 96.1, and C, is it based on the insulting acronym polyflop? Blah, 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 blah. None of these undersigned emails cited 96, remotely justifies sanctions. The plaintiff's motion is completely contrived and is itself sanctionable under 28 UMC 1927 for an unreasonably and vexatiously multiplying proceedings.
January 15th, false accusation, threat of sanctions, sarcasm, and insults. Counsel, if you do not correct your misrepresentation, we will be filing a motion for sanctions. This is not the first time you've misrepresented something to this court. It will be brought up in any event, but if you do this in the future, it will be at your peril. I expect to see a filing correcting your footnote. Even though your motion was denied so fast, it made me think we have a new high-speed line directly to the judiciary in this country.
I love that one. That was really
That was
funny.
a good one. But I don't see what's wrong with it either. He's saying, I'm giving you a chance to fix this. And if you don't fix it, we're filing. Which I think is what his job is. He's supposed to tell you. January 19th. By the way, you have refused to answer several emails, including recently about your availability as a witness in a case, which has been set for a hearing on our motion for sanctions. A hearing which you seem to think won't occur. It will. Your lack of responses will also be pointed out to Judge Davis. January 19th. Wow, you really obviously don't know how to research. I do know the cases, and since you are not even licensed to practice law in Florida, I don't think it's my responsibility to tell you the cases. But you might want to start with the Supreme Court of Florida on this exact point. That's it. I'm not going to do your research for you. You are 1,000,000% wrong on this. That's the Laura Owens response. She loves that 1,000,000%. Just asking you this counterintuitively, I will ask you a rhetorical question. Why do you think the 21 days is there if it doesn't have any effect? Check that out with the Supreme Court of Florida. That was like, by the way, this is all the way in January. We started way the hell back before October. This has been going on since October. And this is the first email where Randy's kind of lost it on him. And this is the one the judge brought up to him where he was like, I don't see you being professional in this email. And he was like, you know what? You're right. In that email, I did a bad job.
Jesus,
January.
man. Like at what point though are you supposed to? How long are you supposed to eat? Excuse me for saying it this way, Chad, but how long are you supposed to eat shit? And smile about it, because that's what the judge essentially told them. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to just keep going and keep going. Let this guy abuse you, and you're supposed to act like it's not a big deal. And the court has been told about it. The court had no problem with him acting like that.
Mm-hmm. No problem at all. And never stopped him from doing it. And then Randy's the one who gets sanctioned. It's really outrageous. It's outrageous what Randy had to put up with in this case. What he's had to put up with Bruce being a part of it. It's terrible. And it's an indictment on our system that courts allow this shit. It really is. It should be better than this. I feel like those people in the, who are talking about the bar in Florida and how terrible they are and how slow they are. And it's like, this should never have happened. Why is our system so bad? Why are all of our institutions so bad? We have institutional failure on every front right now. And I don't know how we can continue like this, really. I really don't. I think at some point, the whole system's going to come crashing down. And it will be because the people who were supposed to care didn't listen when everyone using the institutions were like, hey, this is not working. Please do your job. Please do your job. And no one did. And it just sucks. It sucks because America is a great place and we had a lot of great institutions and it just feels like we don't have any left anymore. And it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting when you have to sit here and watch the judiciary make a joke out of this case.
Well, and they price most people out of being able to defend. When people can go out and use law degrees, the lawfare, like we've seen in this case, where you have a bunch of, look at the people that are involved here. You have folks that are, you have an actual disbarred attorney. You have paint chips here that went to prison that is talking about filing garbage litigation against people. And can they? Well, they've left the door open for it. There should be no way in the world that people like that can file litigation and get away with that shit and continue to do the things that they've done and do what they've done in other cases too. They obviously feel that there will never be any kind of blowback on them.
Mm-hmm.
Just disgusts me, man.
It is. It's disgusting. It really is. It's really sad. It's just an awful indictment of what we're dealing with on this national level, and I'm tired of. I'm really sick of it. I get really sick of it. That's why I think during that Karen Reed trial, when the verdict finally came in and those screams from the people outside just infiltrated the courtroom and filled the whole courtroom with these shouts and screams of happiness, because people are so used to not getting justice, right? They're so used to injustice everywhere they look that it was just an outpouring of emotion when Karen Reed actually got justice, where the jury saw what we saw. And it was like, finally something worked. It's one of these things that is supposed to worked. And it's really sad that in America, we get excited now when something works. That's not how this country used to be. This country used to work all the time. Now it's like an event when something goes the way it should.
Yeah, people are stunned by it.
Yeah, you're stunned by it. Like, holy shit, I can't believe it. Oh, hey, Mr. Coop. Mr. Coop is in the house. We got Timu Tug here. Heidi Who, neighbors, what's shaking? Well, we're happy to have you here. And January 19, 2025, threat to alert the magistrate. I take your response that you will not agree, absent conditions. I will alert the magistrate of what you were trying to extract. January 20th, threat to share recorded conversation with the magistrate. Counsel, I've already told you that we do not agree. You can refuse to disclose your expert at your own peril. We have already discussed this matter in a recorded phone call, so no further conferences are necessary. I will share the recorded conversation with the magistrate if you persist in this delay. I don't understand what the problem is with these emails. I'm like, these sound good to me. Okay, Tug, you're on January 24th.
Oh, this is, it's just whining. I mean, again, he's like, oh my God, there's some sarcasm in this. Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
January 24th,
yeah.
Sarcasm, false accusation, threat of sanctions. Counsel, please forgive me this rhetorical question. It's obvious that you do deny making statements, which were heard by the court reporter. We'll be filing motion for sanctions based on your behavior today, very near future. There is no longer need for me to confirm based on your emails. But we've seen some of the transcripts for the court reporter stuff. I can't believe a judge ignored that stuff either. Like, that's just it's nuts. January 24th, threat of sanctions. Your conduct this morning is sanctionable. Are you free? 11:30 a.m. Meet and confer. January 24th. Attempt to use threats of sanction, extort stipulations, insults. Roll down a little bit. There we go. To resolve this, I propose that you enter into an agreed order stating, 1, that all future calls between us will be recorded. Oh, no. Yeah, he doesn't want that for sure. He wouldn't want any record of that, would he? Number 2, that you admit to what you stated today and stated in the email string, which was witnessed by the court reporter, and agree that if you use profanity again or use disparaging remarks to describe me or any party in this case, Mr. Hales will be entitled to monetary sanctions against you in the amount to determine by the court at evidentiary hearing. Well, that's what the judge said was going to happen. You can't make fun of people. So if he's fucking disparaging people,
Yep.
Again, paper tiger. Whether you agree or disagree, I strongly encourage you to be professional in this case. January 27th, demand to renounce journalist claim. Threat, it will be brought to the magistrate. Counsel, regarding the email below, this is where this is from
Here it
paint
comes.
chip. Yeah,
Here
this
it
is
comes.
paint chip shit. Regarding the email below, which you've received, please immediately renounce any of these claims that my client is an anti-Semite. As a Jewish person, I find this accusation and supported and extremely offensive. If you do not renounce such accusations, at the very minimum, control your fellow PR journalist who you are involved with to a great extent for making such outrageous statements. However, if you do not renounce these claims, the only assumption is that you agree with them and subscribe to them. You have also been heard to label Mr. Hales as anti-Semitic. Now's your chance to deny and refute that. Very serious matter. It'll be brought to the magistrate if this is not resolved soon.
Now, this to me, I can't believe he added this thinking this was going to help him.
Yeah, he brought in paint chips for this stuff. But again, Judge never did anything to him. So
no, he didn't. And in fact, the only person that got in trouble was Randy. So it's really disappointing. And my opinion of Judge Bolitho goes down by the day that he does nothing. And it's going to continue to go down daily as he does nothing in this case. January 31st, 2025, false accusation of interfering with witnesses. Apparently, you don't understand what someone needs to do when they are properly served with a subpoena, especially when they are a third party. Unless you've been giving advice to these witnesses, which will need to be explored, we have received many fake messages, fake emails, fake faxes, even from people who say they are witnesses in this case when it turns out they are not. We will not be tricked into having to pay fees by not showing up for a properly noticed deposition. Tell us right now, have you had any contact with this witness? Holy crap. What was this one about? Fake calls, fake emails, fake faxes? I wonder what was going on. January, it doesn't sound good for Bruce. I'll tell you that. It
actually doesn't. I'm looking through that and I'm trying to find something in there that reflects on him a positive light in any way.
January 31. We'll have to look back through the documents and see who was being deposed around January 31st. Accusation of witness tampering and intimidation. Counsel also, you forgot to answer the question about the witness, Mr. Meeks. Did you contact him? Have you ever given him legal advice? When we take his deposition, these questions will be asked. There has already been witness tampering in this case and witness intimidation in this case by you and Ms. Wolf. Please recall her deposition exhibits where you told her not to tell the whole truth. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean that stuff was crazy.
We still haven't made it through that entire deposition. We need to.
Between that one and God, what was her name again? God, I can't think of her freaking name. The case manager.
Oh, Amanda Martin.
Amanda Martin. The stuff that he did in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we made it, chat. We made it through Amanda Martin's deposition, but we didn't finish Shara's because it was like 300 pages.
Hundreds of pages.
We're like on page 179, I think. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. February 5th, threat of sanctions. Counsel, please advise of your availability over the next 4 business days. I plan on filing a motion to compel better responses than what you've already provided in your amended response to request for production. We will also discuss a Rule 11 motion for sanctions for following a motion to dismiss based on diversity, which has already been ruled on by the court. February 6th, threat of sanctions. The motion to dismiss that you filed based on diversity has been ruled upon and denied. The case law on this goes back to 1824.
Denied. Sit down.
When the minimal jurisdictional amount in controversy was $500. You now allege that jurisdiction is lost because extortion counts were dismissed. You are saying that you get a second bite at the apple on the amount in controversy. You don't. It's black letter law. This principle is well settled and easily stated and is reflected in cases throughout federal courts. That is prime soil for a Rule 11 motion. I urge you to withdraw your motion you filed. Otherwise, it will be subject to sanctions. All right. And it's your turn for February 14th.
It's crazy. You have to tell another lawyer this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's February 14th. Threat of sanctions, false accusation. I'd like to discuss, prior to my filing my motion for sanctions for you, instructing a witness and or coaching a witness, which is obstruction of justice with you. But the first topic, which you have delayed, is going to be my motion to compel better responses for discovery. I'm sorry you do not get to jump the line. March 18th. That'll be in response 71B email, our attorney fees, 8586. Counsel, we disagree. Premise. Should you disagree, we'll be forced to file sanctions as well. We truly hope that's not necessary. March 18th. Response 7.1b, RE attorney fees, false accusation, fabricated quotation. Counsel, we disagree with your premise. As the court ruled, defendant's motion to dismiss under Federal Rule Civil Procedure 12b1 lacks merit. Should you disagree, will be filed, blah, 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 blah. Same words as the last one, except for that. Except for the quote, March 26th, 2025, threat of sanctions as extortion for payment of non-owed money. So we have paid Steno. We will also seek 1/2 of our invoice and move for sanctions today. Please pay 1/2 of our invoice from the second deposition by 5 p.m. today. We're filing for sanctions. You mean the money he was supposed to pay? You know?
Yeah.
He's like, you're extorting the money that I'm supposed to pay. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't get it. Anyway, so Mr. Shock, where's the foot? Okay, there's a footnote. Never mind. I was making sure I didn't miss a footnote.
You did.
Mr.
It's down here.
Email events. And oh my God, man. I was reading the footnote as I was going forward. Bad faith toward opposing counsel. I got ahead of myself. And the defendants, and many were sent after this court's order warning of extreme sanctions document. Oh, wow. He remembers about extreme sanctions. That's interesting. Huh. But he can't show up for anything. The email together with Mr. Shaka's deposition far exceed what would minimally qualify as sanctionable conduct. It would be folly to believe anything short of dismissal will restrain the abuse of these proceedings. And this is the footnote I got. Let's scroll down just a little bit. There we go. All right. Mr. Shockett's filing 96. Again, he's talking about the filing for sanctions. That's the filing that caused all of this other stuff to happen. Without any pre-filing, 7.1b conference was in bad faith, preventing the undersigned from attempting to reason with him. What? What?
You mean on all those phone conferences you wouldn't show up for? You wouldn't set a date for?
You've gotten to the point where people have to say, hey, if you're not going to act right, I'm going to have to ask for sanctions. And oh my God. Anyway, it blows my mind by noting all his many troubling emails with threats, accusations. Oh, so he was going to reason by being like, actually, I'm going to say this about you. That's what it says. And insults directed at the undersigned that would become the subject of this motion. That's what it says. If you file that, then I'm coming after you, actually, because you're the bully, even though you caught me. 7.1b conference may thus have been avoided, both by plaintiff's motion and the present one, but the surprise was obviously the point, influencing the court to issue harsh, financially burdensome orders against the undersigned without the benefit of any response.
Conclusion. Based on the foregoing, the defendants request this court issue monetary sanctions commensurate with the amount of time and resources the defendants' counsel in the court have been forced to expend due to Mr. Shockett's actions. Oh God, Bruce. Oh, this is a man with no self-awareness. Dismissal of the plaintiff's action with prejudice in disciplinary proceedings, not only for the conduct detailed in this motion, but also for the misrepresentations and false statements made in filings that have been pointed out in prior motions, and the abuse of discovery and depositions for harassment. If the court dismisses the plaintiff's action, it should also grant the defendant's request for an order under 41A2 without prejudice, in which case the defendants will voluntarily dismiss counterclaim count 1 under 41A1A1, thereby ending the matter in this court. And then he signed it. Okay, so that was the motion that Randy
clown car crap right there.
Oh, so clown car. I mean, the worst kind of clown car filing ever. It's just so bad. And I was laughing so hard when I was going over it today. I was like, I have to read this on air. I don't remember ever reading it because I think I might have skipped it because I was just like, this is too much. It's too stupid. But it's important to remember the context, and that's why I was reading it for the new filing that went in today. Document 160. Let me bring it up. Okay, here we go. So this is Randy's response to that motion several months later after the case was reopened.
Yeah, because it's been paused for so long.
Now, this is only 3 pages. We're going to whip right through this.
Mhm.
It's only 3 pages. Response in opposition to motion to dismiss under FRCP 41B, document 117. Plaintiff Jeremy Hales opposes the motion to dismiss under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 41B and requests that the motion be denied because the stringent requirements for dismissal under the 11th Circuit's precedent have not been met. The rule expressly authorizes the involuntary dismissal of a claim for failure to abide by court orders or rules of civil procedure. However, beyond the federal rule, the power of a court to dismiss a claim is inherent in a trial court's authority to enforce its orders and ensure prompt disposition of legal actions. Dismissal under 41B is considered a drastic sanction and is only appropriate in extreme circumstances where there is a clear record of delay or willful contempt. And who fits that description? Not Randy. Here, it is not improper to confer with opposing counsel prior to drafting a motion under Rule 11. The rule itself does not explicitly require a meet and confer process, but it does include a safe harbor provision. Chat, you should be very, very familiar with safe harbor. That effectively encourages communication
Safe harbor indeed.
encourages communication between parties before filing a motion for sanctions. Conferring with opposing counsel gives the opposing party an opportunity to address the alleged violation without court intervention, which aligns with the purpose of fostering resolution and reducing unnecessary litigation. Conferring inherently supports the idea of engaging in discussions with opposing counsel to address potential issues before escalating to formal motions. 2, helps avoid unnecessary sanctions motions and promotes judicial efficiency. The whole chat is screaming in Pee-wee. You're screaming in Pee-wee Herman. I love it. Continue it. Continue to do it. The whole chat is ah! The secret word of the day is safe harbor. Dismissal under FRCP 41B is considered a drastic remedy that should be used sparingly. And he's quoting case law and the conclusion, the motion lacks merit and should be denied. It is so great that this is just like it's like a 2-pager. It's actually a 2-pager. It's not even 3 pages.
It's like, this is garbage.
Yep.
Thank you.
So now you have the full picture of what was filed today, what it was in response to, and we've gotten fully caught up on that. It was a mic drop filing. I really loved Randy's filing. It was perfect. It lacks merit.
It has everything that it needed in it.
There's nothing wrong with conferring with a lawyer before you file a Rule 11. And if he hadn't done that, he's right. Safe harbor would have applied, and then he could complain about that. So yeah, that was definitely everything that guy just said is bullshit. That was definitely a my cousin Vinny response. So we'll see what the judge has to say. I have a feeling he will deny that motion because it was crap. And I'm going to get to super chats and super tips. Tug, are you staying, or you got little ones to deal with? I think he's already gone.
Yeah, I'm messing with little ones. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to bounce. You know,
all right.
They've been running wild. They're like, I gotta get a pizza. I hear them yelling about pizza. We need a pizza tonight. I'm like, why do you? It's gonna be late before we get. We've gotta have a pizza. I'll die, Dad. Oh Lord, I guess I'm gonna have to order a pizza. I hate doing that.
Well, you better go and
it's so painful.
You don't have any
so painful though. You know,
what about the pizza pot? What are those little things that you like? The little pizza things. Don't you have any of those?
Yeah, but that's not what they're talking about.
That's not what they want. They want like a real pizza.
Let me give a shout out to Nancy too. She sent a 10 to me. Thanks for keeping the spotlight on Bolitho. Indeed, I appreciate you too, Nancy. I'm going to give that a shout out. But tomorrow we'll be over, and it was fun tonight. I will see you. Oh, I almost pushed the red button. Going down. I'll see you.
See ya. All right, everybody. It's just us, just me and you. Just me and you, chat. Let's go over the super chats. Lori Netzel gifted 10 Megan Fox memberships. Thank you so much for the 10 memberships. And welcome to the Fox Den. All of you who got those, make sure you thank Lori. And Pat Ross became a member for a month. Max Lab, who's been a member for 2 months, says, hey, Megan, we got a crazy document from Randy today, Fed 1. Yep. And Jane Chu, member for 8 months. Love you guys. Good to be here. We love you too. Gamer Jackie, thanks for the 2. 46 on the 26 UK Chi-Chi birthday song time. Oh no, I have to do it by myself. All right. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Woo! All right. I think I did that pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Wendy Bondo, thanks for the 5. Megalodonis and Tug, happy hump day. Breadstick money. Appreciate you. Cindy Brown, member for 4 months. Please say happy birthday to my 4-year-old duck boat driving granddaughter. Aw, happy birthday, you big 4-year-old. It's really cool. You're not 3 anymore. You're 4. 4. That's awesome. Rhea Norman, thanks for the 5. It's my husband Mark's birthday today. Wow, a lot of birthdays. So can we all get our sombreros on and slightly uncoordinated claps, please? All right, ready? Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday. May all Mark's dreams come true. Woo! All right, Mark. Look what you made me do. Greg of Scotland, member for a month. Thank you for coming in. Me and Coop and Georgie stream today. Timu crew. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Alex Marie, thanks for the 20 super sticker. Appreciate you. Razilla's Realm, thanks for the 5. Anyone for some AC/DC? I've got big balls. Oh no. I have my favorites. Thanks for the 2. Keep this breadstick away from the end stream. I love your Muppet. That looks like my hair. I love it. Georgie's Life Unfiltered. Thanks to the 5. Timu crew showing the Amazon crew some love. Thank you, Megan, for joining us this morning. Had a blast. Can't wait to do it again. Mary Kay, thanks for having me, by the way, Georgie. Mary Kay, thanks for the 6. Jeremy Wave Service. Can it be dropped for 120 days of no service? That's a good question. I don't think so because he waived service. But he wants to attack it a different way. Skipper of Veteran Nation, thanks for the 2. I wonder if he's still writing to YouTube about me. Probably, Skipper. Paul C, thanks for the 20. I appreciate you. Suzanne 70 IB 7 IB Cali. I always get that wrong. Thanks for the 10. Shizzy's name is as follows. First name Shizzy, middle name Wiz, last name Nut. Yes, if anyone wants to know, that is his name. Emmy, thanks for the huge 50. Personal accountability and laughing at oneself is a rare quality these days. I appreciate you both for not only doing that, but also encouraging it. Oh, yes, I absolutely encourage laughing at oneself because we're all fallible. We all have our foibles, don't we? And we fail at things, and it's okay to admit it and make a joke out of it because it's much funnier to laugh about those failures. Winky's Carnage Crew, thanks for the 5. Did either of you read my email about conspiracy proof? Is there any validity to that idea? I don't think that I've gotten to that email yet. Hold on. Let me look. I wonder when. Oh, there it is. Let me read it. Hold on. Hold, please. All right. I don't know the answer to that question. I know that I do believe, so basically what he's asking is the timeline of when the website, like the Polymop website, popped up versus the first time the acronym was used on the docket. And what you're saying is you believe the website was created before the first time it was shown on the docket, and that she created the site L1 created the site that would infer that Bruce was talking to her. But now I'm not sure, with Lips creating all these websites, maybe that website was hers. I don't think so. It doesn't look like one of her websites. It's definitely a different style than the kind of website she does. I'm willing to believe that that one was set up by Lisa. But you never know. I mean, maybe if they ever turn over Discovery, we'll find these things out. Just J Hip, my new lawyer. Thanks for the 20. It was the perfect filing, and I've only been lawyering for 3 days so far. I would have never thought lawyering was this easy. I'm told practicing without a license is a felony, so I'm probably back in trouble. Those of you who have not heard his filing yet, make sure you go tune in to Jay's stream from earlier this evening, and you can hear him read it himself. It's quite good. It's very good. AKA the cat lady, thanks for the 5. With Fleece's deep, dulcet tones, no one will believe he's anything but what he really looks like. Oh, Lord. Rusty Ray Hips, thanks for the 5. I think she may be related to Gorlock, the Destroyer. Denise Simon, thanks for the 20. I fell asleep to your live the other night and dreamt that Tug went live and showed his face, and it was so hot. It's really funny, Denise. He would like that. He would pull up his sexy Tug avatar right now. Double Karma, thanks for the 5. Megan banned from all social media according to Facebook posts. Well, that's odd. How am I sending this message then? Yeah, I haven't been banned from any social media. No. That's what we call fake news.
You are fake news.
Terry, American Woman Thrifter, thanks for the 5. Appreciate you. Dan Davis, member for 6 months. Storms are here again. Lots of thunder and lightning. If I go off the air, you'll know why. Yes, well, hopefully you kept your power. Wendy Haveman, thanks for the $5 super sticker. Appreciate you. And Terry, American Woman Thrifter, thanks for the 2. Is Bruce ever going to get his sanctions? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the judge is waiting for. I wish. I think it's been long enough. It certainly is. I have a theory about it. I'm going to go over it on another show. I'm still researching my theory on why it's taking so long. I think I have a good idea of it, and we'll see. Dan Davis, thanks to the 5. Dire Straight wrote a song about the lack of work. Money for nothing and your checks for free. Wait, was it checks or chicks? I thought it was chicks for free. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. I thought it was chicks. Is it chat? Is it checks or chicks? I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight until I know. Is it checks or chicks, chat? Hello, chat? Chat? Why is my chat not moving? What's wrong with this? Ah, there it is. Chicks for free. That's what I thought. It's chicks for free. It's free chicks, not checks. Okay, my entire childhood just flashed before my eyes. I thought I was having a crisis. All right. Sticky Widget gifted 1 Megan Fox membership. Welcome to the Fox Den. It is weird here, but you will get used to it. Brandis Abercrombie turned 49 today. Well, I'm 49 too. You can join me in the 49ers Club. Dwayne, and happy birthday, by the way. Dwayne Norvell, thanks for the 2. But she, Lynette, is weaning. Yes, she's weaning. Mr. Coop, thanks for the 5. Just a simple thank you for all you and Tug do for us all. P.S. I still have the scented trash bags. Stop it. I do not want scented trash bags. I want them banned from Earth. AKA the cat lady, thanks for the 5. I asked Tug last night, but if they don't turn over their discovery, can Jeremy introduce it as part of this case? What you mean, can he introduce their lack of turning it in? Yes, that becomes part of his case for sure. Yes. John Alive, member for 1 month. Do you think they will submit discovery on time tomorrow? No. They're not going to turn over anything, guys. All right, we got super tips. These will be fun. Here we go. Bill Jarzemba, thanks for the 5. We have a Mary Lankins chat.
Balls. What's with all these balls?
Not case related, but wanted to give a quick update. DRS canceled my appointment last minute. So now I have to wait till Monday for answers about my cancer. Thanks for all the prayers, everyone.
Donna, I'm so sorry to hear that. It sucks having to wait, and I hope that things go well. And Buck Naked, thanks for the 5.
Dramamine for everyone. I'm sure you're getting motion sickness.
And DTG 1032, thanks for the 1236.
Her filings seem legitimate to me. They would be better if they included accusations of polymop, though.
Grounds.
Is it time for oral arguments?
I'll allow it.
I love it when the voices argue with each other. Maray 68, thanks for the 5.
If there weren't any lawyers, there wouldn't be any jokes. You can't fix stupid unless you have scented garbage bags and square bullet points. If there weren't any lawyers, there wouldn't be any jokes. You can't fix stupid unless you have scented garbage bags and square bullet points.
All right. SF, thanks for the 5. It didn't play.
How are there so many Gen X aged people in the ecosystem that are complete crybabies?
That's a very good question. They are crybabies. Why? How are they this way? Why are they like this? Robo 770, thanks for the 5.
Lisa is my older twin sister. Can you not see the resemblance? She got the fat jeans. I am so jealous. Lisa is my older twin sister.
Stop that. Okay. DTG 1032, thanks for the 5.
Megan will pull this stream over and have us doing squats to hold music if we don't get the likes up.
That's true. In fact, I'm going to play that squats. I'm going to play the fat shaming on the way out. We haven't played that in a long time, and we need to. Rozilla's Realm, thanks for the 5.
Lisa looks like Jabba the Hutt's heavier twin sister.
You know what? Insulting Lisa in Lynette's voice is hilarious. because at this point, LMNOP is probably that's where she's at right now with Lisa, it seems. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 1240.
Sticky has been busy as hell, so give him a break.
I will allow it. But he has not been over to trim my bush in ages.
Yes, but in his defense, his clippers are in the shop.
Oh, that was a good one. And that was the last one. That is so awesome. That was the last super tip. What a great super tip to end on. Oh my God. Let's see. There's Aussie Wombat sent a super chat that says, is it chicks or kicks for free? It's chicks. It's definitely chicks. It's definitely chicks. All right, guys. Go see Shizzywhiznut. I'm out of here, but before you do a minute and 22 seconds of squats, you fat piece of shit.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter.
Can you just get up, walk 1 mile?
To squat!
Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair, get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.